Hello friends, this video is about a fundamental topic in psychology, that is schools of thought in psychology or the approaches to psychology. If you are someone preparing for any competitive exam in psychology, then you should be thorough with these concepts. Welcome to the video. In this video, I'm going to talk about structuralism, functionalism, and behaviorism. We also have different approaches to psychology, such as Gestalt psychology, psychoanalysis, cognitive approach, and humanistic approach. We'll discuss them in the coming videos. What is a school of thought in psychology? It is a group of psychologists with similar opinion or point of views and making similar approaches to study human mind and consciousness. Hence, we have different schools of thought. First one is structuralism. This school of thought is widely regarded as the first school of thought in psychology. It emerged during the late 19th century. The names you should remember with structuralism are William Wundt and Edward Tishner. Structuralism aimed to study the structure of consciousness. For them, the best way to study consciousness was through studying the structure by breaking it down into its basic elements or components. They used two ways to study the structure. They are introspection and elemental analysis. Introspection is a method of self-observation and reflection where individuals report their thoughts, feelings, and emotions in response to an object or event. Elemental analysis is a process where complex mental processes are divided into basic components and analyze them separately. For example, stress is a complex mental process. According to elemental analysis, we can divide it into different components such as physiological, emotional, and cognitive, and analyze each of them separately. Though structuralism paved the path for studying psychology, it had faced certain criticisms. A major criticism was the subjectivity of the methods. That is, introspection is a subjective method and cannot be used to predict behavior. Hence, it lacks predictive power. Also, consciousness involves many complex mental processes that cannot be divided into elements. Introspection as a method posed significant challenges in terms of standardization, reliability, and replicability. Also, the rise of functionalism and behaviorism led to the diminishing of structuralism. The second school of thought is called functionalism. Functionalism emerged in the early 20th century as a response to the limitations of structuralism. This approach was strongly influenced by Darwin's theory of natural selection. Functionalism focused on the functions of consciousness, that is, on understanding the adaptive functions of behavior and mental processes and how they help individuals to adapt to their environment. The names you should remember here are William James, John Dewey, Edward Thorndike. Let's see the key aspects of functionalism. First one is the focus on function. Functionalists were interested in studying the function and purposes of behavior and mental processes. They believed that psychological processes should be studied in terms of their practical implications and adaptive functions in real-life situations. Holistic approach. Functionalism emphasized the interconnectedness of mental processes, behaviors, emotions, and environmental influences. Next is the adaptive behavior. That is, they believed that behaviors and mental states evolve and persist because they serve a purpose in helping individuals survive, reproduce, and thrive in. Functionalism, like any school of thought, had to face its share of criticisms. A major criticism was the lack of precision in studying the functions of consciousness. They overemphasized on the functions of consciousness, overlooking the underlying mechanisms or processes involved. Next comes the behaviorism. Here you can see two pictures. These are very important. The first one is Pavlov with his dog, and the other one is a Skinner box. Get familiar with these two experiments. Now let's go back to behaviorism. Behaviorism emerged in the mid-20th century, primarily associated with the work of J.B. Watson and B.F. Skinner. So you got the names of people who made significant contributions to the school of thought. Who are they? B.F. Skinner and J.B. Watson. Behaviorism emphasizes the study of observable behavior and external stimuli, while minimizing the focus on internal mental focuses such as thoughts and emotions. Behavior has two parts. Observable behavior is called overt, and that part of behavior that cannot be observed is called covert behavior. Behaviorism focuses on overt or observable behaviors. They also consider the environmental influences, how individuals respond to environmental stimuli in their environment, and how these responses are reinforced or punished, leading to changes in behavior. A major concept in behaviorism is called conditioning. There are two types of conditioning, the classical conditioning and operant conditioning. Classical conditioning involves learning associations between stimuli, for example, Pavlov's experiment with dogs, and operant conditioning involves learning through consequences. So, classical conditioning focuses on learning through associations, and operant conditioning is about learning through consequences. That is, behaviors are strengthened or weakened by reinforcement or punishment. Behaviorism has many practical applications in the area of education, therapy, behavior management. The major criticism behaviorists faced was for its focus on external behavior at the expenses of internal mental processes. Now, let's meet some of the prominent psychologists. The first one is Wilhelm Wundt. He is associated with structuralism. He is also known as the father of psychology and father of experimental psychology because he is the first one to set up a psychological laboratory in Germany, Leipzig, in 1879. The second one is William James. He is a functionalist. He is the author of The Principles of Psychology and known as the father of American psychology. B.F. Skinner is a behaviorist. He was the most influential psychologist of the 20th century. Now let's quickly revise what we studied in this video. We talked about structuralism, functionalism, and behaviorism. Other approaches to psychology will be explained in the coming videos. Here are some references you can use for additional reading. And thank you for watching the video. If you like the video, like, share and subscribe. See you soon. Stay tuned.